Hello, everybody, and
Hello everyone.
welcome to yet another live of Dog Spot. How have you been, Karthik?
I- I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hey everyone. It's nice to be here. And hello
Great.
Rohi. Nice seeing you as well. Been a
After a
while.
very long time. Yes,
Very long
yes,
time. Yes.
yes. So this is Roohi Kulkarni Kale. I am a certified dog trainer and behaviorist. I practice in Nagpur and I do online trainings as well. And today we have with us Karthik Ramasubramanian. He is
So,
also a certified dog dog trainer and behaviorist, and he owns
yep.
a lovely pet store in Bangalore. And he is a very, very dear friend of mine. So,
Yes.
how are you
Yes. Me
been,
and
Karthik? Long time no see.
long time. I've been good, Rohi. I think with the lockdown, there's been such a sharp increase in the number of puppies, and we've just
Yeah,
got busier, with our jobs.
right.
So
And
yeah,
puppies and issues with older dogs and issues with puppies. I think it's the same everywhere. Over here
it
also in
is. It is.
Nagpur. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And with the increase of puppies, the number of problems also keep on increasing. One of
Totally.
which is our topic for the day, which
Yes.
is excessive barking, which
Hmm.
is one of the major issues which people face. At least
Agreed.
for me.
Agreed.
What do you think, Karthik?
No, totally agree. I think a lot of people face barking issues, and many times they are totally confused as to how to go about it. Right? They are lost.
Yeah,
All barks seem the same to them, and they don't know how to go about it. So it is a major problem out there.
yeah. Plus, I think what I feel is कि एक तो कुत्ता है तो
Hmm.
भौंकेगा is what I
Yeah.
know. But the thing is कि कितना भौंकेगा? How much is all right? How much of barking
How
is
much?
okay? How much
Hmm.
is not okay? Like when does it actually become excessive? And
Yep.
it kind of depends from dog to dog also,
Agreed.
kind of
Yeah.
on the breed and kind of individually on
Totally.
your dog also, right? For example,
Yeah.
like
I
maybe
think.
Karthik, yeah,
Mhm. No,
like
what you were saying, there's so many reasons for which a dog can bark, and
yeah,
there are so many factors playing into it. But often we get a very blunt description. Dogs barking a lot, but you don't really know. And what is really a lot is what is excessive barking and
yes,
what is normal barking. There's some
yes,
clarification needed on that, I think.
yes. So I think we have a couple of people who have joined us. So
Oh,
let's just
hey
dive
everyone,
into it.
hello. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Cherin is here. Hi, Cherin. Long time no
Hi,
see.
Cherian.
Jael. Hey, Jael. Hello to Mr. Ramesh. Hi, Saloni. Long time no see to you also.
Hey, Cherian.
So, what we're
Yeah.
going to discuss in today's live is basically why do dogs bark, first of
Hmm.
all.
Yep.
When does the barking actually become unacceptable? So, okay, okay, fine, this much barking is fine, and let's not intervene. And when do you need to intervene? What
Hmm.
not to do to actually cure the barking at the moment,
Hmm.
during the time the dog is barking, or later on.
Hmm.
How to stop the excessive barking, or how to kind of, instead of stop, I would say how to manage the barking,
Manage.
because it's a
Yep.
dog. In the end, a dog needs to bark.
Uh, yep.
And so preventing and managing the excessive barking, and
Yep.
also we'll touch upon the point when is the point that you really need to seek the help of a professional. So professional in
Correct.
the sense a trainer or a behaviorist, when it really gets out of control, and then the neighbor is also kind of fed up with you, and you can't
Yeah.
really take your dog out on a walk because he barks at everybody, at the people,
Correct.
at other
Hmm.
dogs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is the that is all the topics we're going to touch. So let's just dive
Super.
into it. So why do dogs bark, Karthik?
Okay, yeah. So again, barking, we trainers know it, but a lot of people don't know that it's only a very small portion of a dog's overall communication, right? It's just a part of it. But that being said, there are so many different types of barks, and dogs can bark for a variety of reasons, right from seeking your attention to maybe alerting if there's a new person or a sudden sound. It could be territorial, it could be a defensive, an aggressive bark. But again, you need to kind of, it takes a little bit of help and some keen observation to figure out why your dog really is barking. And very often the solutions and the management techniques are based off of what the root cause of the bark is. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think,
Yeah.
what do you think? I mean, otherwise,
Yeah. So what I know is, so dogs do bark to communicate, right?
correct,
But
correct.
what we fail to understand is, like you said, it's just a part of their communication. The rest is really body language, which we fail to see.
Understood.
And to curb the barking, we end up really
Yes,
doing some things which do exactly the opposite of what we want, and it results in over excessive barking, and then we get
totally.
frustrated, and then it actually, the
Always
cycle only
happens.
continues, that the dog is
Exactly.
barking, and then for the dog we are barking, and then the dog barks even more, and then we bark even
Exactly,
more.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
You can
and a
just
lot
think
of
about how
times,
the
yeah,
dog's playing it in his mind.
yeah, the dog is like, cool, ye bhi bhauक रहा है, मैं भी भौंकता हूँ. But a lot of times I've seen that it kind of stems from a lot of issues, like maybe attention seeking or
Yeah,
separation anxiety, or
correct.
it could really be something simple as begging or boredom. So your dog is just plain and simple
Agree.
bored, and he has nothing to do.
Yeah,
So he's just going to do
correct.
doggy things, and the thing that is
Definitely.
available to him is barking, basically.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when do you
One is,
think, before we touch upon when does barking become unacceptable? When do you think,
mhm.
Karthik, that barking is acceptable?
Right. So the couple of reasons why dogs will bark naturally, right? Many of you, if the doorbell rings and your dog barks a little bit till you open the door, that's quite normal, right? Dogs in their natural environment would alert other members of
Right,
their group that there's
right.
someone else coming. Oh, there's someone over there. So this is alert barking, and it's quite normal. You'll see it in most households, and it's nothing to worry about, right? That's absolutely normal. And
Right.
maybe if you've trained your dog to bark, or maybe your dog's barking on cue, that's okay. And maybe a little bit of a, barking maybe for attention here and there might be cute, but it can very quickly, become into something else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like Elisha says that my dog barks when he needs to pee or poop, and then I rush him
mm,
out. And I love it that he
yep.
communicates so well, which is brilliant if you see. So, Elisha has a wonderful cocker called Buddy. Hi, Elisha and Buddy. So, this is one brilliant way of actual communication, that when your dog is actually allowed to bark. I
Yeah.
think I lost you there.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we lost you a little bit there, but I think that's true, Elisha. I think that's brilliant. I think it's that type of barking is what some people want, right? So in your case, barking isn't necessarily an issue. It's actually a big benefit. So barking isn't to be looked at always as, hey, you know what, uh, it's a bad behavior. For the dog, barking and being quiet are just two behaviors, right? The dog's just going to
Right.
do what's working out for him in different scenarios.
Right, right.
So
So, Karthik, when does that acceptable behavior kind of become unacceptable? So, where do we draw the line? That, okay, fine, you're
okay,
barking,
now let's.
I get it, but where
Mhm.
do we draw the line?
Okay, couple of instances. Let's say, okay, we're going to name a dog here. Let's say I have a dog called Fido. I hope there are no Fidos over here. So Fido starts barking when the doorbell rings. Now I'm going to open the door, and I've got a bunch of my friends who come in, and I'm talking to my friends, and Fido is just sitting there, woof, 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 woof. Okay, this can go on for maybe 15, 20 minutes, sometimes even an hour. Right? So here, this can be a menace for the neighbors. It can be difficult to manage, and sometimes dogs, it becomes kind of a habit, and it becomes self-rewarding in a way. Right? Some dogs just keep doing it, because the behavior itself is rewarding in some manner. So here it's unacceptable, and obviously you'll have to work on it.
The internet is
Say another example, you're going out. Again, that's a little difficult. So these would be a few, situations of unacceptable barking.
Yeah. So what I have seen is sometimes
Yeah,
people also end up making the barking unacceptable. Like they enjoy the barking so much, like, oh my god, the dog is looking so cute,
yeah,
especially with smaller dogs or hounds,
totally.
like beagles who actually don't do the woof woof, they actually do
Exactly,
ow,
exactly.
and then that
Oh my God.
ow
Oh,
is
oh.
cute for some time, but then it's not, and then it becomes irritating to you, and
Initially, exactly.
also, yeah, also everybody is, right? So when a
Totally, totally.
dog is when a dog is barking non-stop, like going on wow 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 woof, 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 wow 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 wow. So Karthik,
Yeah.
what exactly not to do at that time?
Okay. It's good you phrased it that way, because that's exactly what people need to know. What you shouldn't do, number one, don't just go straight up and reprimand the dog, because that might not do the trick. And this is usually,
So by
and very often
reprimand,
it
what do
fails
you
in the way
mean?
that most.
Yeah.
Okay, by reprimand, I say, now let's look at what most pet owners would do. Hey, shh, no, no, no barking, no, stop it, stop. That it's not going to work. And very often you'll find that the dog just repeats it time and time again. Don't try to reward the behavior. Again, you're not doing it intentionally, but a lot of times people will say, hey, look here, you know what, I've got a treat. You might be rewarding it, and at the same time, sometimes dogs are so into the barking that they couldn't care less, and you'll find yourself bringing the treat near the dog's nose, and the dog's just like, I'm just gonna bark at this. So that's not
Yeah,
what you should be doing. and
exactly.
uh, and I think,
Yeah.
Ruhi, I think a lot of times we try to deal with things like barking in that very moment, right? Which is not how you should. Right? Barking is an amalgamation of the entire day, right? So there's so much that goes into the entire dog's routine to get the barking to stop. I think you might, we had a discussion the other day, I think a couple of
Yes.
weeks back, and we were talking about just this.
Yeah. So what basically Karthik is saying is, so if you are trying to make your dog quiet in the moment, like your if a guest has come or if the doorbell has been rung, or for whatever reason, if your dog is barking his head off, and if at that moment you try to teach your dog to quiet, it is not going to work, because
Exactly.
things like, okay, shush, is also a reward for the dog. Things like giving a biscuit, that obviously is a reward for the dog. And
Yeah.
if you even touch the dog to actually put him in another room, so you are actually touching the dog. So you are invariably giving your dog attention or a treat, or so all these are rewards, which we do in a situation of panic, but that
Yeah.
is what causes the more of the excessive barking,
Barking.
right? So don't do that. No matter how much you want to do that, don't do that. You'll need a lot of self control to actually stay calm at that time, and not do like, oh, shush shush shush,
Yeah.
no no no, come here, shut up, no 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 no. So
Mm.
you will need a lot of self control to actually not do that, especially if you have guests, because it
Yeah.
becomes embarrassing. And so what you need to do is, first of all, train your dog for the situation. So if you know that, okay, मेरा कुत्ता जब गेस्ट आते तब भौंकता है, और जब दूध वाला आता है तब उसके ऊपर ही भौंकते रहता है, और my dog barks at dogs specifically. So you have to train your dog in the situation. Ask somebody to ring the bell like 10,000 times, and then you practice it in the situation. I I can
Yeah.
guarantee you, if you do it right, then the dog will learn. Ki, okay, fine. I'm not going to get any reward uh,
Hmm.
for barking at the doorbell or for barking at a person.
Yes.
Yeah. What else do
And
you think, Karthik, we could do? Yeah.
I think another thing is people are always one we don't think enough to see why the dog is barking, right? Once you've figured out what the reason is, right, it's actually quite simple. And then what you can start to do is you have to flip the switch. When I say flip the switch, we're always trying to think how to get the dog to stop barking. The question is, what do you want the dog to do in that situation instead? And that's what you
Yeah.
should really focus on building over and over in a more controlled environment. You teach the dog how you expect them to behave. Now, if you have a dog that's, let's say, barking at the doorbell, right? You teach the dog to respond in a different way when the doorbell rings. Strengthen it, right? You'll need the help of a trainer. You'll need someone to guide you on this. But take the guidance, start working on it, and very soon you'll say, "Oh, the dog hears the doorbell." You might hear a tiny bark come out, and then he's going to say, "Hey, I'm supposed to go there." And then he goes there and say, "Okay, if I sit here, I'm going to end up getting what I want anyway." Right? Because most times, most of the barking issues that people face inside their home, unless your dog is very nervous, is primarily to seek attention, right? And it's something
Yeah.
that the pet parents have fed or taught to the dog over a period of time.
Yes, and sometimes there are a lot of pet parents who go the other way also. They
Yeah,
will let the dog bark till no end. So they will just wait it out, let the dog bark,
yeah,
which would not work if you
it doesn't
don't.
work.
Yeah, if you don't really train the dog. Okay, fine. Now you be quiet, and then reward the quiet. What happens is
Exactly.
the dog is constantly barking, you ignore it, and
Hmm.
then the second the dog shuts up, that is the second you kind of give him a reward, which is
Yep.
your attention also. You get very happy. Oh my god, good boy, yes, what a
Yeah,
good boy.
yeah.
Even if you do this, your dog is going to get very excited, and then again he will start barking. So that is a major
Totally.
reason why actually waiting it out doesn't work.
Doesn't
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of that, if you think your dog is bored, then there are a few things that you should be doing.
Yeah.
Um, one of which is number one is good exercise.
Yes. Yeah. I think.
So yeah,
No, I think a lot of people. This is such an important thing for so many issues that people face. Whatever you're going to say now, so go on.
yeah, yeah. So number one is good exercise, and I want to stress on the word good, because what happens is a lot of people they would take their dogs out for, let's say, okay, if you have a lab or a golden, and then you may be taking your dog for two very long walks, like 1 hour walks, and then what would you see is that he still comes back and he is standing in the balcony and barking his head off at the other dogs or at the neighbor, which pisses the neighbor off, obviously. But that is not really good exercise. So you need to figure out what is he even doing on the walk. Is he only
Yeah.
pulling?
Yeah.
Is he engaged with his environment? Is he getting to sniff?
Exactly.
So
Very important.
yeah, yeah. If he's allowed to sniff, maybe at a spot, in a shrub, at a tree. So
Makes a huge difference.
basically, yeah. So that is good exercise, and that's not just physical exercise. That's mental exercise also.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Totally. I
back
think.
in home
Yeah.
also, yeah.
Go on, Rui. You finished.
Yeah. Yeah, and back in home also, what exactly is your dog doing with regard to physical and mental stimulation, right? So, Karthik, you were talking about something about having a proper routine and an environment.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you said, I mean, especially dogs that are barking because of stress and boredom and just very generic reasons. It's important that you make the routine of the dog very stable and very mentally enriching. The dog should have activities in the day which kind of use up a little bit of their mental energy, so that this will kind of definitely help to benefit reduce the barking. Just as you said, when you take a dog out, you'll notice the only reason a dog has to bark outside is when they look at something or when they hear something. And you might have seen that when a dog is using their nose, they're less likely to look and less likely to hear. They're much more engrossed in what they're sniffing. Sniffing is naturally a very nice way to help a dog kind of reduce barking. So a lot of sniffing
Yeah.
activity, you can engage in some, and again, coming back to routine, some predictability in the routine. So the dog knows, hey, you know what, I have my rest times, I have my activity times, and I have my stimulation. So the dog's not looking for something more.
Yes.
So, yeah,
I just
routine and even
love
your
this point of
environment.
yours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just love this point, which is rest. We actually
rest.
underestimate the power of proper rest,
I
which is
know,
like
totally
a
right.
good,
I can relate.
yeah.
I'm
I
sure we
mean,
all
your
can.
dog is sleeping, let him sleep for some time. Let him be alone. If your dog has chosen a spot and wants to unwind and be alone for some time, please respect it. I mean, you wouldn't really go and pick up a toddler while he's sleeping, or, wake them up, or, go and sleep on somebody or poke somebody who is sleeping, right? So,
I
the
think
same
I'll
goes for
start barking if
dogs.
they disturb. I think I'll start barking if they disturb me from sleep every day.
Karthik, you will start barking. I will bite. And I think I have my husband to vouch for it. I will bite. Don't disturb me while I'm
Yeah.
sleeping. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hi to everybody. There are a lot of people saying hi.
Hey everyone.
Hello, hello,
Hi.
hello,
Hello.
hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. There we do have a question. Is there a way to stop excessive barking by the stray indies when I take my dog for a walk? Any quick solution?
Quick solution. So, see, very often when you've got stray indies, right, if they get very habituated to your dog crossing, twice a day, for the next 2 weeks, most of them kind of tend to stop, right? Because they say, oh, it's this guy again, right? You just have to cross the place over and over, and they'll get habituated to it, right? Unless there is some reason, or your dog is, lunging at them and kind of barking at them, or wants to go and meet them, and they're not too keen on it. And what they do is very normal. It's a territorial bark. It's just saying, hey, listen, you're new here. This is our space. Stay away, right? And
Yeah,
you can just
yeah,
respect that by not making too much of eye contact, moving away, and being very respectful of their space. I think that should do the trick.
yeah. So, to add to it, Deepak, what I have seen working when it comes especially to stray dogs, but unfortunately, it's not a quick solution. So,
Mm,
I mean, it's your choice whether you want to
mm,
implement it or not. What you can try is leave your dog at home, and multiple times during the
feeding.
day, yeah, go and make friends with the stray dogs. So at least the stray dogs know you. So the moment you take your dog, so when you take your dog out for a walk, your dog is also pretty excited to go out, right?
Yes,
So it is a lot to handle in a situation, and then we end up getting anxious as well. So
correct.
first go and first gauge, do the street dogs want to be friends with you? So take some biscuits and just see if they are friendly enough, make friends with them, right? And then take your dog out. So the stray dogs would be more receptive to being okay with you walking your dog because they're already friends with you. Yeah.
Correct.
But this is not a quick solution, and it really, really takes time.
Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
time, and yeah, it does
Uh,
take a little bit of
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Elisha, hi back. Thank you so
Buddy's
much. Buddy's
favorite dog.
also, yeah, Buddy's also a cutesy.
Buddy, you've not heard
Um,
Roohi. Good, you didn't disturb Roohi from her sleep.
no, dogs I can forgive.
I know dogs are easy to forgive.
Yeah. Daryl, please provide your contact details. Are you in Pune? No, unfortunately, neither of us are in Pune. Karthik is in Bangalore, and if I'm not wrong, Karthik, you don't do online training. Yeah, you do only
I have
physical
not.
sessions, right?
Yeah, I've not
Yeah.
been doing online sessions. I've only been doing sessions at my center.
Yeah.
Online
So
sessions, I think Roohi is doing online sessions. So
yeah.
great
So
person to get in touch with.
thank you. So I do online sessions. If you want, you can connect through Facebook or Instagram. There we do have our links over there. So Juhi is saying my dog will bark at the monkeys. So I
The
mean, as
monkeys are
long
making
as
your dog bark.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, there is a counter question. Sorry. How to
How to
stop
stop
him
him?
from doing it?
Okay. So this is I'm guessing this happens outside your house unless
No,
the
I
monkeys are
think
coming into the
so
balcony.
yeah, so she lives in a penthouse and
Oh,
yeah, so they have this huge terrace on the penthouse
okay.
and the monkeys kind of keep on jumping from the trees and on in the yard
Got
also,
it.
if I'm not wrong.
Got it.
So monkeys is actually a
So
difficult thing, but
yeah, what you can do is try to take your dog to the terrace at times when the monkey isn't there, and create a different association with the terrace. Get your dog to engage in a new activity, something that the dog loves to do in the terrace, because now every time your dog steps into the terrace, the first thing he's going to look for is where are the monkeys, right? You want to change that. You want the dog to start participating in something apart from monkey watching on the terrace. So you go to the terrace, get a little bit of, do a little bit of scatter feeding, scatter your food, do a little bit of concentrated activity for 10 minutes, bring the dog back down. Do this every time you go to the terrace. The 15th time you go to the terrace, the dog's not going to look up. He's going to look at the ground looking for treats. That's the first step you
yeah,
can take.
right. And so actually, whenever I give these kind of long solutions, what happens is people are not very motivated to try them because it seems to take a lot of time. But
Yeah, it does.
what we cannot underestimate the power of training for the situation. So
Yep.
if you do what Karthik is saying, like do it 15 times a day, then the next day again do it for 15 times, then you will see that okay, your dog is getting it. That okay, terrace means okay, we're going to do something together. Then when the
Correct.
monkeys come, again you try that and your dog is going to respond more to you.
Oh, much better.
So
Yeah.
if you don't give up, so the rate of success actually is higher and faster than
Mm-hmm.
actually the quick solutions. Yeah.
Mm.
So before we take other questions, let's come back to preventing and managing excessive barking. So till now we have touched upon setting up the environment and routine, giving your dog a very good exercise and mental stimulation. Um, and we have also touched upon proper rest. And the biggest thing that Karthik hasn't yet revealed is teaching
Okay.
your dog to bark on cue and to
On cue. Yes.
on cue
Keep quiet
and
on cue.
quiet on cue. So
Yes.
why Karthik? I mean, so if I was not a trainer, I would be like, my dog is already barking his head off. Why
My
would I
dear.
want to teach him to bark?
Okay. Simple way to understand this. You have a coin. You don't have heads unless there's tails, right? The, so you need to have a heads to have a tails. Similarly, if you just start telling your dog to keep quiet, your dog has no idea what quiet is unless you teach him what speak is, right? So it's like two sides of a coin. So anytime you want to teach your dog to keep quiet, you also have to teach him to speak on cue, and you can do that with a little bit of help. And I think Ruhi can also help. It just takes a couple of online sessions to teach your dog that. Teach your dog to speak on cue. Teach your dog to be quiet. Then you'll find it's easier to apply in real time scenarios.
Yes. So no matter how much your dog is barking and how much you ask your dog to be quiet, it is not going to work if your dog does not know how to actually bark or like you've seen in the fancy YouTube video, speak.
Yeah.
If your dog
Yep.
doesn't know how to do that, then the quiet or the shush is
Won't make sense.
not going to work, right?
Yeah.
So that is the biggest thing. So if you have a barking dog, first just go and teach him how to bark on command.
On. Yeah.
That is your quick advice
Yeah.
and takeaway for today. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a very valid point. I'm glad you brought that in.
yeah,
A lot of people tend to go wrong on that.
yeah.
Straight away go to the, I want my dog to keep quiet, quiet, quiet. Let me teach him quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rosalind says, my Russian barks too much whenever the doorbell rings. Sometimes it becomes a concern. Help.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes it becomes a concern. So I'm assuming sometimes he's okay with it, and depending on who is at the doorbell, he quiets down and doesn't quiet down. Is what I'm assuming.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is the barking only, there till you address the doorbell or go to the door, or does it continue after that? That could make all the difference, because it could be two totally different reasons for which the dog is barking.
Yeah.
So
So Rosalind, if you are still here, and if you could kind of clarify on when does he actually sometimes bark and when does he stop, so it would be easier
yeah.
for us to give you a suggestion. Till then, we'll just take this other question. So Saloni says, "Hi Saloni,
Mm.
my friend Shih Tzu constantly barks at me whenever I visit her. So sad. Is there anything I can do to not encourage it?" So you are asking from your point of view as a guest. Yeah. Saloni is saying it's
Hmm.
really sad. Okay, so
Yeah. So
from
from,
Saloni's point of view, what do you think,
if
Karthik?
it is, I'm not too sure if the dog is barking for attention. If it's for attention, you can maybe just kind of refrain from giving it, go out of the space, walk elsewhere, go to a window, just look out. Do something where you're bluntly ignoring the dog, basically, if it's for attention, and don't give the dog
Saloni
hope
is
that
saying
you'll get.
definitely not for attention.
Oh, not for attention. Okay,
For
then there's
attention.
nothing that
So
there's more
Saloni,
work to be done.
yeah, what I would suggest from from your side is go to your friend's place like 10 to 15 times a day for maybe 5 days a week or something, and ask her to actually put in that effort to kind of habituate your dog to you, since your concern is related to you, and then that would invariably end up helping the dog to be okay with other people also. But from
Yeah,
your side, like Karthik said, you have to be like very nonchalant and be very casual about the dog.
exactly.
And it's
Yeah,
a Shih Tzu, so and if so, I'm not sure if the Shih Tzu is there when you enter the house, or if he's kept away and then he enters once you've entered. So these kind of things do make a difference. So first and
yeah.
foremost, Fanoli, kind of try to figure out why is he barking at you? Is he just territorial about his house, or is he protective about his owner, or is he just not a friendly dog? Yeah,
Nervous.
so that
Yeah.
will kind of help to bring in a solution. But definitely ask your friend to invite you over for a couple of parties throughout the day. Yeah. Rosalind has come back to us. He barks at anyone who is at the front door. But does
Okay.
he
Okay.
stop once the door is opened?
Okay. So generally, see, if uh, think about what you would like him to do instead, right? So when you don't want him to bark, what do you want him to do? Barks
Yeah.
too much whenever. Okay, it's the same. Yeah. So
Same.
figure out what you'd like him to do instead. A simple command that most trainers love to teach their dog is go to bed, right? If you can work on your go to bed and tell the dog to focus on going to the bed and just lying down there while the doorbell rings, and let the dog know that waiting at the bed gets them a reward, it'll help. But for this, you'll need someone to, it's not something I should just dish out like this. You should work, maybe with a trainer or a behaviorist, and work on this. It can be dealt with.
Yeah, Karthik is bang on it. So if you don't want him to bark, what do you want him to do? What generally works for a doorbell is teaching your dog a place command, or
Place.
like go to bed command. So
Go
every
to bed.
time the doorbell rings, he actually doesn't bark at the door, but instead goes to a certain spot and waits. So since he's waiting, he has a lot of impulse control. So that would work really well. So if you need help with it, please do contact any of the trainers you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a different question, Karthik.
Okay.
I wanted to ask this question, but was wondering if I should ask, as it is contrary to today's topic. My dog rarely barks. He
My God.
he even doesn't prefer barking at strangers or when the doorbell rings. So should I teach him to bark? I'm afraid it might become a destructive behavior. Destructive is a
You
strong
don't have
word.
to. You don't have to teach him to bark. I'll give you an example. My dog never barked for most of her life, right? And it's not that she was stressed out. She had other ways of communicating, more subtle ways, and which we could understand. So you don't have to teach your dog to bark. If it happens naturally, it happens. If it happens too much, you work on it. Otherwise, enjoy the silence.
Yeah. So honestly, this is very personal to me also, Deepak. So I have a golden retriever, female golden retriever called Maya. She's the sweetest dog, and she's a golden retriever. And I wanted to teach her a lot of tricks, like let's say like math. Like if I say 1 plus 1, I want her to bark twice to give the answer. But the problem is she just doesn't bark. And fine, forget about the tricks, but I mean, it does become a concern that okay, will my dog bark at strangers and protect me? Basically, that's what I'm assuming your kind of
Problem.
problem is also.
Mm.
Your concern is, but if you see that your dog will actually emulate your feelings. So if you are not feeling particularly comfortable with somebody, or if you are scared to open the door and you are unsure if somebody is there, your dog will understand your emotions and 100% will protect you, and if need be will bark also. So Maya has barked at people when she was not sure, just to protect me. And when she was sure, okay, fine, it's just a friend or a family, and I am okay with it. So you have to kind of build that bond and understanding with your dog. So when I say it's okay, she understands that okay, fine, it's just a friend, and I can stop barking. And he says mine is golden retriever too. Maybe it's genetic. So I would also say enjoy it. you don't need to teach your uh, you don't need to teach your golden retriever explicitly to bark. Frankly speaking, dogs will protect you. They will do their job. Trust me. My dog has a cry like bark when we run in front of him. We try not to play that game, but he gets the most exercise while playing. How can I fix this? This is a
Most
cocker stand.
exercise. Okay. When you run in front of him. Okay, no, there are many other ways to give him a lot of exercise. Right. So again, I think when you run in front of him, it might be because of excitement. Dogs can also bark when they're really excited or very aroused. So it could be because of that. But there are other. You don't have to fix it. You just have to stop playing that game, and you have to switch it up with a game that tires the dog out, but doesn't necessarily make the dog vocalize. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy fix.
And a lot of times the dog maybe is getting mentally or physically stimulated or excited
Excited.
less number of times during the day. So let's
Mm,
say you are playing with
correct.
him an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, but what happens is that the entire day is not doing anything then.
Yeah.
So when he gets to play, he kind of gets very, very invested in that, and that is
All
when
the
the
fun.
play whining can occur.
Correct.
So sometimes what works is instead of doing like big chunks but less number of times, what you can do is smaller chunks but more number of times. So then the dog is also kind of okay with it.
No,
Great
correct. Yeah.
info. Great.
Thank
Thank
you, Anand.
you. Saloni is Saloni is saying enjoy the silence. So people who have barking
Hashtag
dogs
enjoy
would
this.
be like, "Arey, why does he want the dog to bark?" Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, it
take
is.
one more
Actually,
question. Yeah.
hmm?
Yeah.
No, the grass is
My
always greener on the other side when
yeah.
it comes to a lot of these dog behaviors.
Yeah. My golden retriever barks at my son when my son is jumping on his trampoline, and he is very loud. Why does he do that?
Hmm.
This is sheer excitement, to be honest.
Yep. It's all
A
excitement,
kid,
arousal,
yeah, yeah.
frustration. Possibly he wants to go there and he's a little worried to get onto the trampoline, or he's on a leash, so he's not able to get there. Give him something else to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
So either what you can do is when your son is jumping on the trampoline, just don't let your dog be there, or first observe that why is your dog actually barking. Would he like try jumping on the trampoline yourself? Is he still barking? So if he's doing that, then that activity of jumping on the trampoline is quite exciting
is
to him.
what the trigger is. Yeah.
Yeah, so the easiest would be just put him away while your son is enjoying on the trampoline. But if he's not barking at you or anybody else like an adult, and if he's just barking at your son, so which generally happens because children are smaller and more enthusiastic and excitable also. So your son would also be making like happy noises and laughing, which becomes very exciting. Yeah, so maybe try to desensitize him to the trampoline without
Yeah.
your son being there. So you jump
Exactly.
or ask your wife to jump up and down on the trampoline and show it to him that it's just a normal thing. Maybe give him a Kong at the side so he is engrossed with his Kong. So he knows that, okay, fine. I am also involved in a fun activity, but I don't need to necessarily jump on the trampoline.
Yeah, you take baby steps, because a lot of solutions, for barking, the real solutions that people want, they require you to invest a little bit of time and effort on it, right? And very often, people either don't have the time, or it's difficult for them to, put in that. Uh, but as you said, if you can gradually sensitize, desensitize your dog to that trampoline movement, if you can take it over a span of 2 weeks, then
Yeah.
that's your solution.
Yeah. So once my son stops jumping, my dog goes on a trampoline. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
he just wants to be a part of the fun
Part of,
activity. So
yeah.
either I mean teach your dog to jump on the trampoline, or
On cue, put it
teach
on cue.
on cue. Yes, on cue. Don't let him just jump on it randomly. He'll just be jumping all the time.
Heat
Put
and
it
on and
on
off.
cue exactly. On, off, and jump. Yeah.
Hmm.
Or
That'll be cool.
maybe, yeah, we want to
Dog
see it.
jumping on a trampoline. Yeah.
Or maybe just because he wants to be a part of the fun thing that is happening, what you can do is let your son jump on the trampoline. You do something fun, ask your wife to do something fun, and your dog also does something fun which is different, maybe the
Different
Kong,
from the trampoline.
or
Exactly.
maybe a sniffing exercise. The logic is basically something very fun and exciting is happening, so you just have to get your dog to be a part of the fun thing.
Yeah. Or you replace it with another fun thing.
Yeah. Okay, we have a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah. Okay. Leash
My
puller.
indie is a leash puller. Sometimes he even starts jumping on the people walking next. We are not really taking leash walking or jumping at the moment. If you want, you can contact either of us or any other trainer,
Yeah.
or
And I
maybe
think Ruhi's got a couple
there's.
of, Ruhi, if I'm right, you're doing a couple of webinars soon, right? It might really benefit for some of these things.
Yes, I am doing paid webinars in the month on weekends. So leash pulling and jumping is a part of it. Barking also is a
Okay.
part of it, and some other problems also which you face in daily life is also a part of it. Maybe Saloni could put up the link or something, or if you want, you can contact me later on to if you want to be a part of the webinar. Yeah, I think she just put the link, so you can check it out. Or there are some other lives either happened or will happen on the same topic. So maybe you could, Saloni can help Nivedita find the webinar. Hi Anurag. My neighbor's golden retriever is about 2 years old. If we lightly pat on the back of his head, is immediately starts barking and won't give any attention to the person who did it after that. Is it a teenage thing? He stops on his own very soon. We don't do it, but it's kind of fun seeing to see an angry teenager. Oh God, trust me, I have never done it for fun. It's just
See,
the
more,
mood
more.
that it's funny.
I think it's better not to, because we really don't know. Right? It could actually be stressing the dog out further. Right? So
Yeah. Okay.
better not to. And since it's the neighbor's dog, you really don't know what the deal is. So it's best to kind of
Yeah.
let the dog be.
Yeah. Okay. Karthik is being very polite. One, it's your neighbor's dog, and two, if he starts to bark and ignores the person who is petting, what I'm guessing is that he doesn't really like it. So,
He's clearly saying he
and
doesn't
you
like
are
it.
saying that, yeah, and you are saying that he looks like an angry teenager. Golden retrievers, no, it's not a teenager thing. My dog is also a teenager right now. She loves to be pet very hard. Also, she enjoys it. It's not a golden retriever teenager thing at all. So there is something that your dog doesn't like,
And 2 years
and
old
so
isn't teenage. That's an adult dog.
yeah, at 2 years, golden retrievers are adults. So,
Yeah.
and what will happen is the dog is not liking something at all. And if you keep on doing it, it may seem like fun at the moment,
Yeah.
but someday the dog may just lose his patience and
Yeah.
decide to snap at you, may even result in a bite. So please, 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 I would say don't do it at all. And if you
Yeah.
still want to do it, then first consult a behaviorist. You need a
Yeah.
behaviorist to actually figure out why the dog is doing what he's doing. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. So Nivedita is saying he even barks at others excessively, pulls on the leash really bad.
Yeah.
So again, Nivedita, a lot of problems, but generally what you're talking about is a problem with the leash. So there is
It's an
no quick
outdoor
solution
bark,
for it.
and
Yeah,
no, very often it goes hand in hand, pulling, lunging on the leash, barking at other dogs. The dog's just so reactive outside. Simple, quick tip that we can, just give you right off the boat is get the dog to sniff around a lot more. It's going to be the quality of your walks, not the quantity. So even if you're spending 15 minutes downstairs on routine, get your dog to sniff around a lot. It brings the brain to a lower level of, kind of
right,
arousal. So that's
right.
the easiest thing you can start off right away.
Yeah.
And beyond
So
that, you need to
going,
seek guidance.
yeah. So coming to the point you're saying, getting professional help. So by professional, depending on the situation, you would need a trainer or a behaviorist. Um, so Karthik, when is the time that you really would like a client to come to you?
See, if you ask me or any other trainer, we'd love it if they approached us when they just got the puppy home. You can prevent so many things, or you just get your dog home. Most often, we are approached once the problem gets quite, out of hand. We can work on it, but it takes a lot of effort, commitment, and time. If it was a young puppy, right, we can prevent, which is why we spoke about prevention. The best strategy is to prevent it altogether. A well socialized dog, a dog that's raised in a very enriching manner, will not have reasons to bark excessively or unnecessarily, right? So prevention. So
Right,
ideally, we'd love it if you come the earlier the better, even before the problem crops up.
right. We have one more question. My golden retriever, 7 years. There's so
So
many
many golden.
golden retrievers with barking problems, which is
I know.
quite surprising. My
I
golden
know.
retriever, 7 years old. He was barking at dogs,
Mm.
cats, birds, etc. So I'm assuming animals.
Yep.
He hates animals,
Yep.
but children,
Mm.
human friendly. Good.
Mm.
You're lucky. I mean, he likes human beings, to be honest. Yeah. At this time,
Yeah. Again,
frankly
same thing.
speaking, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Karthik, you were saying?
Roohi, you were saying.
Pehle up.
Awkward side. Okay.
Right. So again, even my dog doesn't explicitly like other dogs. Um,
Mm.
so I knew that for a fact when I got her that she's not very much dog to dog inclined, but she loves human beings. So what I taught her, which I suggest to all my clients also, is first invest in your relationship with your dog. So first build your
Understood.
bond till that extent that even outside, if you're taking your dog for a walk, if another
Mm-hmm.
dog or a cat is coming, maybe teach a look at me command.
Yes.
So if you see
Exactly.
a dog approaching, you can just ask your dog to look at you. So your
Yes.
dog's attention is to you and not the other animals. And that is one thing that I definitely teach is the look at me command.
Yeah. And I think when you're teaching these things like look at me, don't try to teach it bang on in the situation. Don't try to
No.
take your dog in front of 10 dogs and teach them look at me. Build it, try to teach it in a more controlled environment, and then work it upwards from there.
Right, right. A lot of times, what we do is when we hardly practice at home, and then we expect it to work in the situation,
Exactly.
which trust me doesn't happen. First, you teach in the
Doesn't
quiet of your bedroom, maybe then maybe in your porch, maybe in your veranda. Then you start taking him out. Then maybe in your friend's home. That is when it will work. But make yourself, since he loves human beings, use it as the biggest reward, make yourself as the biggest reward. So no matter what happens, you just be like, okay, fine, it's just a dog, and see what you are doing at that time. So if you
Yeah.
kind of get tense at that time, like, oh
That
my
could
god, there's
also
a dog
be.
approaching, so your dog
Mhm.
can actually feel and then start to get ready to bark. Okay, I can feel a pull on the leash, or I can feel that my dog has tensed up. My owner has tensed up. So your dog also starts to get ready to bark. So be normal, be casual, and first train inside the house before you implement um, in the situation. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. He's fun and playful, and we don't do it. I train him sometimes, so I think I know he's not in distress,
Oh,
but your point is noted. So this kind of reminds me to the biggest thing is observe your dog. So when your dog is barking, what I would like everybody to do is first observe your dog's entire body language. What is
yeah.
his tail saying? What is his hair saying? Are they raised? Is he normal?
Yeah.
Is he casual? What are his facial expressions saying? What
Exactly.
is his body posture saying? Then see, okay, what is his bark saying? Like Karthik said
Exactly.
in the beginning, bark is only a part of the communication. It bothers us the most because we get irritated by it, but we fail to see the rest of the um, communication
Body.
that the dog is trying to tell you. So, ideally, what I would want everybody to do, go and observe your dog. Why is he barking? Is it for attention? There is a different solution for it. Is it out of
Yes.
boredom? There is a different solution for it altogether. Right?
And look, see where your dog's watching. Very often, that's also a very easy indicator to figure out why he's barking. If the dog's barking at you and you're the one feeding him and taking him for his walks every day, it's probably because he wants your attention. If he's barking at, say, someone who's come through the door and taking a couple of steps back and is not too keen, that could be a totally different reason. So, as she said, watch the entire body language because they all give away small pointers to what the dog is trying to say by barking.
Right. Right. Yeah. So just to sum it all up, dogs bark. Some bark more, some bark less. If you have a
Mhm.
dog who barks less, be happy with it. Some do bark. Like Karthik said, observe why your dog is barking. What you shouldn't do is reprimand your dog. Like be upset at him, be angry. Please don't whack your dog at all at that time. Okay, please, just no. Okay, trying to aimlessly distract your dog, like, okay, you know, come here, come here, come here, or show a treat or a toy. At that time, he is going to value whatever he's barking at much more than a treat. So it is not going to work. And if he comes to you, then you have just rewarded him for the barking. So he's just going to go back and start barking again, right? So always allowing the dog to bark, just hoping that he shuts up at some point in time. Asking a nervous barker to confront his fear. So if your dog doesn't like you said, dogs, cats, birds, whatever he doesn't like, don't drag him to the bird, don't drag him to the dog. Just be okay with it. Okay, fine, it's just a dog. Look at me, pay attention to me. Yelling back at an attention seeking barker. So if your dog is barking, if you yell back at him, he's just going to be like, cool, he's barking with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you shouldn't be doing at all, right? So what should you be doing? I'll just quickly sum it up for you. Set your dog up for the dog's environment and routine. So if you know, okay, fine, 2 times a walk is just not cutting it. Maybe, okay, fine, the time is the same, 1 hour, 1 hour. So you kind of do like 10 minutes walk. I'm just gonna go and get my dog to sniff this bush and then come back up. And we're not really going to just pull on the leash and just walk 1 kilometer. That's not the agenda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him take his rest. Let him play a little bit. Good exercise. Teach your dog to bark on command, and then teach your dog to be quiet on command. Mental and environmental enrichment. So do give your dog a lot of. Maybe you can give him a Kong, or there is a brand for the love of dog which makes snuffle mats, and you can use that to
Ruhi
give
makes
some. Yeah.
so Ruhi's got a bunch of very nice yak milk chews. Those are also very good. You might want to try those as well. Sorry, I had to bring that in. I've just got a few and they're selling like wildfire at my store. So,
Thank you so much, Karthik. Disclaimer: this is not a paid promotion. Yes.
no,
So
it's not.
yeah,
I know Ruhi before this.
yeah. So yak chews are pure vegetarian and gluten free and preservative free, and they're very hard, and they work wonders because it's so hard, and you need to just get the right size for your dog. And then you will see, okay, the dog is so involved in it, so the dog doesn't need to bark and is satisfied basically. So if anybody wants, so you can contact me on my Instagram. Thank you so much, Karthik.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. My pleasure.
So proper rest, and the most important is figuring out why in the world is your dog barking. If you don't
Yes.
figure it out, then you cannot make your dog stop barking. You need to first figure out why is your dog barking, and then use the appropriate solution. So attention seeking, different solution. Boredom, different solution, right? If anybody
And don't
needs
hesitate
any,
to
yeah.
get in. Yeah, and don't hesitate to get in touch with a professional to help you with that solution.
Yeah. So if anybody really needs any kind of help, so Bangalore people, you can contact Karthik. Nagpur physical, I am in Nagpur. If you want, you can contact me in Nagpur. But I am doing a lot of webinars, so you can check it out on my Instagram or my Facebook. And if you want, then for somebody who wanted some help in grooming, I do online as well, just in case you want. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
This was a very good session. Yeah. Thank you so much,
you.
Karthik.
Thanks, Roohi.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Always
Thank
a
you, Dog
pleasure.
Spot.
Yeah.
Thank you. You guys, your
Yes.
sessions are brilliant,
Thank you so
very
much, Dog
informative.
Spot. Yes.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot. I have learned a lot from the sessions and parting information to a brilliant audience over here as usual. Thank you so much, Dog Spot. Thank you, Karthik. If I missed any questions, I'm very sorry. Please do contact any of us. Um, that's about it. I hope this helped. And we'll see you soon with some another topic. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.